Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me for this week's World Session. I've had to switch it up. And instead of doing it on a Thursday, I'm doing it now on a Friday. So we're Friday the 25th. So thank you for joining me. For all of those who couldn't make it, again, you can catch this on YouTube. You can share this out. I would love to hear your feedback and comments. You can comment on my YouTube channel, or you can catch this on my website, www.mmarzak.com. I also wanted to take just a little minute to say of a upcoming workshop that I'm doing in March 18th. It's a soul responsibility workshop, and it's life transforming. I know it's transformed my life in many ways, and it's just such powerful work. So if you're interested, you can go and check that out on my website. The registration is there if you have any questions that I'm happy to answer. So I'm hopping right into session. I had a little talk before hopping online here and starting to record, and it was all around the devouring mother. The best way I can describe this energy or this archetype, you can see how it relates to yourself in your own life and how you do this to yourself. So the archetype of devouring mother has nothing to do with your own physical mother or grandmother or lineage. This is an archetype that we're all born with. And so there's the archetype of mother. Mother is the nurturer, but then the devouring mother is something ultimately very different. So let's say I do an exam or a test and I get 70%. And then I look at my test paper and then I say something to the effect, "Good job, now you can do better." That's the devouring mother. Or another way of putting it, "Oh, you're so stupid. You only got 70, you didn't study hard enough," and all of that. So even appeasing the devouring mother, "Oh, you only got 70%, you can do better." And then "No, I'm not stupid. I did 70%. I got a good job." That is still feeding the devouring mother. So then how do you stop feeding her? Oh, it's very strong. And that would be through nurturing yourself, just through love. Love yourself fully and completely, exactly in the moment, exactly as you are in this moment. Exactly like that. Exactly as you are, regardless of what you think of yourself. Exactly as you are. So where I'm seeing my face is so itchy. So there's a few things happening that as I'm speaking about this devouring mother energy. It's in our senses. So I'm doing a 5 senses dumping. So this is our filters, how we filter our experience of ourself or our experience of life. Oh, they go through our senses. That's how we experience life. And then I'm seeing it also we're doing a transmutation of the devouring mother. As much as seeing that we're working with that energy and just bringing the consciousness of love to it. You can't change her. This is not about changing that archetype. It's about bringing it to awareness, bringing yourself to awareness and seeing it. Oof. So we're going to do a 5 senses dumping. I'm going to tap the cortices. So if you want to do this for yourself, eyes, nose, skin, ears, mouth, taste. We're going to dump those 5 senses and all of the filters to yourself and to your external world that you think are absolutely true. You're going to link that into an active memory. Active memories within the heart. So everything to do with love, self-love, to be loved, and then to love. Oh, and the heart feels so sad. It's missing that sensuality, that divine feminine. Well, I don't like that. That's not it. It's really the sensuality of experiencing life sensually. So the five senses, right? So the soft fabric on your skin. You're drinking a lovely cup of tea and how that tastes. Listening to the birds sing. Whew, experiencing yourself sensually and your surroundings sensually, having that zest of life is coming in. There's been a really hard few years. We've had a hard few years. And it's almost like that will to live or has been the hardest suffering. So we're going to do a few things with the heart. We're going to bring in back the consciousness of sensuality, which is blood. So we're doing a gorgeous blood circulation to, from, and within the heart, linking that into the lungs so it's nurtured from the oxygen from the lungs, and that oxygenated blood is going all over the body and nurturing the whole body. We're going to link this into a full circulation, so to the circulatory system. The circulatory system feels a little sluggish. It's not communicating well. It's not getting down, so I feel some cold limbs. My nose is so itchy still from that. Cold limbs, maybe heavy arm and leg pain. So we're bringing in this beautiful circulation to the circulatory system and doing a seedry to the circulatory system. So fragmenting, fragmenting, recontextualizing, downloading new information. That feels really nice. And then also doing another circulation plugin, a full circulation plugin of blood, lymph, nerve, even chi, and bringing in water to this circulation plugin throughout the circulatory system. Oh, that my whole body is relaxing. It's like soaking up all of those nutrients that it's been missing from having that oxygenated blood reach all of the body parts and the organs. All right, going to go ahead and tap this in. Going into the lungs. It's bringing me right into the lungs, into the alveoli, into the bronchial tubes, even into the fascial system around the lungs, in through the lungs, the wei qi of the lungs, and also the lung lining, so the skin that holds the lungs, that holds the lungs together. And for those of you who are new and watching this, I don't have indigestion. It's just the energy moving and transmuting. So the sac around the lungs. And we're bringing in the consciousness of the breath of life. Then the lungs just relax, and that there's some tension in the back. So I'm going into the rib cage, the anterior, posterior rib cage. So both sides, you can see where the tension is for you, but there's a stickiness. So we want to create some space. So the lungs have some room to move, to expand fully, that it's working well with the diaphragm, and that oxygen is moving through to the heart. And then that oxygenated blood is getting around. That feels a little sticky in the back. Whew. So we're going to go ahead and do a 5 elements balancing to the cartilage in between the ribs, the rib cage itself in the back, and then the fascial system. It needs a 5 elements balancing. It's stuck. So we've got trauma stuck in here, some grief stuck in here, and it's weighing down the system, makes life really sluggish. I just feel really tired all of a sudden. So we're going to do a 5 elements balancing. We're going to balance all of the 5 elements, so fire, earth, metal, water, wood, and all of to each other, and then their congruences. Oh, and every possible mutation so that it's fully balanced. Oh, that wants to link into um, a breathing cycle. Oh, so we're going to fix the breathing cycle. So some are breathing, you can see how you breathe, whether it's a nice diaphragmatic breath or if you're breathing really up in the chest and the air is not, you're not breathing like a baby, right? The bellies go up and down. So we're going to correct that. Yeah, so we need to readjust the breathing cycle to this new spaciousness within the lungs. They just need to work in sync now. And then there's a consciousness of holding my breath for the next penny to drop or the next ball to drop, sorry. I'm holding my breath for the next thing that's to go bad. And then there's fear and doom in there. So we want to drain that fear and doom out. How are we going to do it? We're going to do it through biogenics. We're going to do an emotional release of doom thinking or doom's mentality or expecting the worst, and that fear, that holding my breath. Oof, this is really big. I can see it taking up the whole back, and then I'm just completely weighted down. It's really heavy. So you can feel your back for yourself. It even goes up into the occipital ridge and goes up into the cerebellum and even into the midbrain. It's affecting thinking processes and also brain function. So the brain is on high alert within the amygdala complexes, but it's affecting the whole brain. So I'm going to go ahead and do this biogenic release. You can watch it going down a drain. This big, big black ball. Let's shoot it down a toilet. Just watch it flush out. Oh, there's a big relief. And there's a big release. There we go. Okay, I'm going to apply Reiki to the back. I'm going to put in some sacred symbols onto the back and hold a Reiki there for 24 hours to support the emotional release. Then going into the brain and into the amygdala complexes. They're overextended, they're hyper vigilant, which that makes decision making almost impossible. That the decisions are coming from fear-based thinking. The decisions need to come from your gut. It's an automatic decision-making process. It comes right from the gut. And this is coming from fear-based thinking from the amygdalas. So no good choices can come from there. That's not the brain's function. That's not the amygdala's function. The amygdala function, if there's an actual danger, like a train's coming for you, the amygdala complex will kick in and then you'll jump out of the way so you don't get hit by the train. Or it stops you from putting your hand on a hot burner or from jumping off the cliff. It needs to be active, but when there's actual impending danger, not just the thought of danger. There we go. So going to go ahead and rebalance those amygdalas and calm them down a bit. There's too much fire in them. So we're going to balance the fire element within the amygdala complex. Oh, it needs a little bit more earth. So we're going to balance the earth and fire aspect of it. Whew. There we go. That feels so much better. And then we're going to go ahead and tap the cortices to improve brain function, brain clarity, synapse connection, soften the corpus callosum so the left and the right brain are communicating properly. And that any kind of work that you do, whether it be body talk sessions with me or with someone else, or even just listening to the session, that the brain is able to go ahead and download these sessions and then have a nicely functioning body. It just feels really impeded by these overactive amygdalas. And then I'm seeing the left and the right brain, and they're really dehydrated. It's just stressed out Omax. They're completely contracted. So we need to just relax them. So we're going to go ahead and bring in the natural consciousness of relaxation within the left and the right brain. I feel like saying, it's okay, just chill out. A little joking, but really just take a nice deep breath. So bringing in the consciousness of relaxation within the left and the right brain. We're going to do a hydration to the corpus callosum, still tapping those cortices to the left and right brains, helping the synapses travel back and forth. So doing also a hydration to the synapses of the right and the left brain. And then here's a little, the brain doesn't seem, the absorption of water happens within the gut, and then it hydrates the body, but the brain feels a little dehydrated. So we need to do, we're going to do a flush of the lymphatic system. So that's the lymphatic system of the brain from any kind of toxic thoughts. So whether that be the devouring mother that I brought up at the beginning of the session, thoughts about yourself, thoughts about others, fears and thoughts about the future, being paralyzed and making any kind of choices or decisions, and for yourself and for your life is coming in. So there's this big bombardment. What if, what if, what if? So they're going to do a lymphatic drainage of those toxins. Going to do it as a general body chemistry to the lymphatic system with support of a hydration. And then we've got it's kind of sluggish moving. So the water's not really moving really well within the brain. It just feels a little kind of gunky. So going to do a repair on H2O and how the functionality, so the actual physical transmutation into H3O, that easy water that's needed for cellular regeneration and synapse connection. Oh, that feels so much better. My whole body just relaxed. Now bringing in a beautiful hydration to the left and the right brain. Oh, so gorgeous. And linking all of this to the to the lymphatic system to drain. And there's a little anxiety coming in. So some thoughts coming in. But what if this? I want to be sure. I want a guaranteed future. I want to guarantee that nothing ever will ever go wrong. Oh, I want to control myself and my life. Oh, oh. So in comes sole responsibility to anchor. You can say the sentences for yourself at home. I take full responsibility for controlling myself. I take full responsibility for controlling others. I take full responsibility for having no control. I take full responsibility for having no control. I take full responsibility for flowing with life, whether that be bumpy or fluid or soft, right? I have the ability to respond to life. I take full responsibility to responding to my life. Now it's relaxing. We're going to link that to the three brains: head, heart, and gut brain. There we go. Implementation, tap out. Beautiful. End of session. No. Mm. Hmm. Going into other systems. So what I'm going to do here is apply Reiki to the Wei Qi as an extra protection. So as an extra protection. So the Wei Qi feels a little burdened by the pressures of life. It feels a little burdened also through EMF, environmental factors, and it just feels a little thin. So I want to support that Wei Qi. There we go. So I'm applying, so your Wei Qi covers your whole body. It's your protective suit, so to speak. And I'm applying Reiki. That's going to run through the Wei Qi, in and out, like a big egg sac around you for the next 72 hours. There we go. You can tap that in. All right, end of session. See you all next week.